Do you know that there are many Christian husbands, that are distance from their wife, and they always feel like, let's say, love is gone. And funny enough, the Bible actually teaches about love. It's just that a lot of men or a lot of marriages, a lot of family do not adapt that biblical love, and they don't know that this love is something that can even save the marriage. Or if a man uses the kind of love that the Bible portrays, right, you would not have issue. And then that the Bible also teaches that love is not just like a feeling, it is actually a covenant. So like in this marriage, I'm going to be teaching on how, as a man or even as a woman, how even if you feel that love is fading, and like what are you supposed to do, or what are you going to do. This is for Christian husbands, this is for Christian wives too. So it can be both sides, it can be the husband or it can be the wife. Now we're going to explore on how we can reset back our hearts, we can renew our mind we can renew our mind, and also learn to love our wives again, when we feel that the feelings are faded. Because a lot of time people get married for 5 years, even for 1 year. Some will get married for 1 year and is already tired of the marriage. Some will get married for 5 years, they're tired. Some 10, they'll be tired. Some 20, even 30. No matter how long the marriage seems to be, some people can just say, I'm tired of the marriage, and they want to leave. Now what are you supposed to do, like as a man or as a woman, so that you will not feel tired about your marriage? That is what we're going to be discussing today. So you better stay to the end, because I'm sure you may be learning something for yourself or even for your family members, and you may like to share this. Back to the Christian Mom's Diary, and as I said today, our topic focus is on how you can renew your love, renew your mind, when you think that love has faded. So as I said, stay to the end. So let's go straight to the point. We're going to be talking about the practical steps for a man or even a woman to love his wife or love your husband again. Now I'm going to be using biblical reset plan. I'm not going to be using worldly. So if you feel like, okay, what I'm saying is against your worldly belief, you may take it or you may leave it. But I'm just trying to use biblical, because I feel like the word of God should be above in everything, even in our marriages. Or what do you think? So I want to start with Ephesians chapter 5 verse 25. I know we already know this, that husband, you love your wives. You would think to yourself, okay, I've known this, they've been saying it, but you know that love is a decision, right? Before it turns to a feeling, or before you think that is a feeling. Love is a decision. I know that at the point we always see in our lives that we fell in love, right? I did not know. Some people will be like, I did not know I would fall in love with this lady, or I did not know that I would fall in love with this man, especially in this love season. That is why I'm bringing in this topic. I did not know I'll fall in love with this lady. I did not know I'll fall in love. But we forget to tell you that it's not about you falling in love. Love is actually a decision, and love is something that you're supposed to do as a man to your wife. That is what the Bible is saying. Husband, love your wife. So you don't wait for emotions to come back. You don't say, okay, maybe right now I am not feeling it again. I am not feeling this woman again. That love that I used to have that time that we got married, it's like something is missing. Something is missing. Something is missing. So you're not going to wait for that feeling to come back. I'm trying to. Some people be like, I'm trying to tap back into that feeling. I'm trying to get back. No. It's not supposed to be like that, because you're not supposed to wait for your emotions, right, to come back before you start acting in love. Or you're not supposed to wait for your emotions before it will come back. It is a decision. It is something that you have to do. You have to love. And you'll be like, are you trying to force love? Love is something that comes out. Don't worry. We're going to be talking about that still today. So now, sometimes you can say to yourself, because it may be hard for you. Let me tell you something, because marriage, or let's say, of course, when you get married, you're supposed to love, right? You have an obligation to love your wife. Whether you like it or not, you have an obligation according to Bible that you must love your wife. So sometimes when you want to act in a way, or when you think that love wants to escape, say to yourself, I choose to love my wife. You'd be like, why am I? Sometimes words affirmation can help. It may sound funny, but sometimes you be like, I choose to love my wife. I choose to love my wife. So do not do one kind act, even if you don't feel like it. You'd be like, I choose to love my wife. No matter how much the feeling comes in, or maybe that feeling is being like, this woman is crazy, or this woman I've done enough. Talk to yourself and say, I choose to love my wife. Put it into yourself, I choose to love my wife, right? And then let's see how it works for you. The second one is, you should guard your eyes and thoughts. You should starve your comparison. Guard your eyes and your thoughts concerning that your spouse. And then you should starve everything comparison. Do not compare your wife with another woman. Do not compare your wife with another person. Do not compare your wife with people. Starve that imagination and be like, this woman is doing this. If she was able to do what the other woman did, maybe I would have loved her, or maybe my love wouldn't have died or something. So you can't desire your wife deeply while feeding your mind with other women. That is true. You cannot desire your wife deeply while you're feeding your mind with other women. Like It's clashes now. It will clash. Okay, you are desiring your wife, but your eyes, you're feeding yourself with other women. You're looking at other women. You're watching other women and stuff. What are you trying to do? There will be a clash somewhere. Even if, let's say, your wife does not find out whatever you are doing. Do you understand? But one way or the other, what you are doing will come in a clash at home. I always tell a lot of people, okay, you go outside, you feed your eyes with other women, or you're with other women, and then you come back and you feel like, okay, she will not know. Sometimes she may not even need to know, but your action, you will come back with a particular action. Let me tell you, the action that you will portray, no matter how much you pretend, you understand, will show. Because you can't tell me that you completely love your wife, but you're looking at other women outside. It's not possible. You will come back and you start comparing. Oh, this other woman have this particular body size. Look at my wife. Or this kind of woman takes care of me. Look at this. There'll be comparison because you're already looking out. You're already looking at those steps in this Valentine and in this season. So the very first thing we should do is let's unfollow. Let us unfollow those pages that trigger us, and then let's reduce or let's stop pornography and all those excess sexual content that you'll be watching other women, right? So you will not desire to go outside. And then when a tempting thought come, you should pray, Lord, cleanse me, Lord, cleanse me. And remember to say, I choose to love my wife. I choose to love my wife. I choose to love my wife. So now that is the second one. So let's go to the third one. And the very third one is that you should speak life to your wife. Compliment, heal every cold heart. Compliment your wife, heal every cold heart. Speak life to your wife. And you be like, what do you mean by speaking life to my wife? My wife is not sick, my wife is not dead. Why am I speaking life to my wife? First of all, let's go to this Bible portion that says, Proverbs chapter 18 verse 21, that life and death is in the tongue. Right now, let me tell you something. There are some places there are some things you have done to your wife, or there are some things you have ignored in your wife that has actually killed one particular aspect of you in your wife. And you'd be like, what is that? I can't remember any. Now, there's some things that you have done, because many wives actually grow cold because they feel unseen, they feel unappreciated, right? So something has died in them, so you have to speak life to it. Now, let me tell you practical action on how you can speak life to that particular area. Or sometimes you may know the area, so I may not be able to address all the areas. Sometimes in your tuition may know that this, or you can even ask your wife, what do you think that I've done to you that have killed one aspect of you, or that have made you cold in this aspect? Just tell me so that I can adjust, because you may not know, or you may know. So now the very first one. So now let's give you practical steps. Now you can give her like 3 sincere compliments, like thank you for how you care for our home. Maybe you have never told her before, or many men have not told their wives this particular aspect before. So you can tell your wife, thank you for taking care of your home. You can also give her another appreciating word, like appreciate your patience with children. We already know how children are, but I know that there are many men that don't really care, because they feel like the wife is not even doing enough. But you don't know the kind of effort that she's taking, right, for her to to be able to handle the children and handle them. So you should appreciate her. And also you should also tell her something like, you are still precious to me. And you'll be like, of course she's still precious to me. If my wife is not precious to me, who else is? Maybe she doesn't know that she's precious to you. Maybe there's the way you're acting these days, or there's the way you've been acting for years. It doesn't seem as if that your wife is precious. So remind her that she's precious to you, right? In this Valentine, remind your wife that she is still the most precious. She's still that your diamond. She's still that your red gem, right? So remind her. So now the fourth one is that you should return to your first works. Remember that in Revelation chapter 2 verse 5, Jesus talked about the church returning back to their first love. And now, because the church ended up doing things that were opposite what they were doing at the first, so Jesus was saying, return back to that very first thing that you were doing, which was right. So you as a husband, return back to that very first thing, that thing that you did that made her to tell you yes in getting married to you. That thing that you did, go back to it, right? And don't just abandon because she's now yours, or you feel like she's yours. Go back to that very first thing that you always do, that she was in love with, right? So that is what it means by going back to your first love. Okay. And now going back to your first love, let me tell you that neglect actually kills affection. When you neglect your wife, I'm not saying maybe you neglect totally, but there's some aspects of your wife that you neglect, and because of that, it kills that affection. You understand? So you shouldn't be neglecting your wife. You can now plan. Let me give you practical steps on how to be able to correct yourself. You can plan a simple date task. It can be a walk, it can be a home dinner, it can even be a quiet time together. You can put your phone away for like 30 to 60 minutes and just be present, just you and your wife, and just be discussing about it. Now the next one, which is very important, is that you pray with her. Now spiritual intimacy is very important, right? You're praying with your wife for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes together. You guys are praying for yourself. You as a husband, you're praying for your wife is praying for you. You guys are praying as a family. That connects a whole lot. So if you do this like at least once in a day, or 3 or 4 times in a week, right, spiritual, of course, we know controls the physical. At least you're already protecting your marriage spiritually by coming together. Remember, when 2 or 3 are gathered, Jesus is there. To 2 of you or your family members or your children being together while you as a husband is praying, it really helps. It really helps. Chapter 4 verse 12 talks about a cord of 3 stands. A cord of 3 is not quickly broken. So prayer actually reconnects your heart in ways that talking alone, you understand, can't. So practical actions based, remember I'm giving you practical actions in each of them. At least pray at least 1 minute together. You can keep it simple. You can pray something like, Lord, help us love each other. Love, heal our hearts. Right, something like that. Amen. Now the next one is that you touch your wife with affection. Touching doesn't necessarily have to be right. It can also be like, not only when you want to have intimacy, you want to touch your wife, right? You can always touch her. Maybe when she's cooking for you, you can just play with her, or when she at least you should know, hold her hands, you hug her for like 20 seconds, you sit close to her, even when she's it's not, you sit close to her, and then your closeness should not be suspicious. Your closeness, you sitting close to her is not because you want to ask for sex. You're sitting close to her because you just want to, for her to feel the intimacy, right? It shouldn't be that every single time you are doing all those things that there's something suspicious going on, right? So now the next one is that you are going to take responsibilities and you stop that blaming and you start leading. You stop all this blaming game that is you that caused it and this is because of your wife. Sometimes you correct with love and sometimes you take if you know that you are wrong, you take responsibility for your action. That speaks a lot. I'm just trying to tell you a lot of things because there are a lot of times that marriages break. The marriages are breaking these days like crazy. They are divorced and all those things. It's because of some certain things that people just ignore, both the husband. And this is chapter 3 verse 12 talks about blame. The story is about blame destroys relationship. Leadership in love starts with humility. When you want to lead, you start leadership, of course, is you being humble. You as a husband, you have to be humble to be able to lead. So you apologize for one thing that you have done. For example, you can say, I'm sorry that I've been emotionally distant. You can tell your wife, I'm sorry that you have been emotionally distant. I'm sorry that I've taken you for granted. You can start with that. I'm sure that can even be the best Valentine gift for her. Even she may even prefer that even more than flowers. Prefer that more than cake and all those things. I'm not saying you shouldn't give her, of course, but I'm just trying to tell you, maybe there's something that she needs. Maybe that I'm sorry for not being emotionally distant, for always being emotionally distant, and I'm sorry for always taking it for granted. Can be something that your wife just needs to hear. I'm sorry for rushing because I don't want this video to be long so that you will not be bored. Now the 8th one is that you are going to renew your mind daily. You replace that world lies. The world is lying a lot to us, and replace it with God's truth. Do you know that the world lies a lot, right? So you as a man or you as a woman following the lies and then bringing it to your marriage is crazy. Now the world says if you are bored, replace her. That is crazy. You cannot replace your wife because you're bored or you feel that you're tired of her, or if you are dry. But let me tell you something, if you are dry, you have to renew your mind. The Bible talks about renewing your mind every single time. Now, the practical one is that you are going to be reading one verse about love each morning. Take practical steps by renewing your mind by reading. You can read verses that talks about love. You can read books that talk about love. You thank God for one thing about your wife every day. Always thank God every morning. Oh Lord, I'm thanking you for my wife for this or this, So now, the next one is that you are going to get accountability. Don't fight alone, right? Proverbs chapter 11 verse 14 says, safety in counsel, strong men ask for help, weak men hide. Always ask for help from your wife. Don't feel because you feel like superior, so you don't ask for help. Talk to your pastor, or it may not even be from your wife, it can also be from outsiders. You can talk to your pastor, mature Christian men, or marriage counselor if you feel that you are lost in the marriage. You can even talk to someone that is older than you. They are the best advice. People that have stayed longer in marriage, they can tell you the best advice. And you also ask for prayers and guidance. There's 9 things that I'm telling you. So now don't worry, I'm going to be posting the 7-day reset challenge, so you should check it out. That you can also you can do as a man or as a woman. I'm going to be posting that. This brings me to the end of this particular video. I hope you have learned one thing or the other. If you're a Christian man, I hope you have learned. A Christian woman, you can also apply this to your wife, because I'm sure that to your husbands, because I'm sure there's some husbands that are even in the wife's shoes, right? So it's not even about the woman alone, it can also be even about the man. So we use this point, or even, and then also if you feel like there's something that I didn't add, you can put it down in the comment. Maybe someone is learning from you too. You're a woman, you're married, your husband, you're married, or you also have a reason. You have a reason why some of these my points will not work for you. You can put it down there in the comments. And please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if possible share to that your friend who is having marital issues, especially to their husbands, and so that they will know that some issues are from them too, right? It's not always from the woman. Sometimes it can also be from the man, right? You can share it to them. And don't worry guys, I'm going to see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, you like, and share your thoughts. Bye.